I am, so my name is Fatima Zaidi, and I am a trained aromatherapist. I was living in Switzerland 20 years ago when I did the training in England, and I actually was moving to the Middle East at that time, so I did my exam at the British Embassy in the Middle East and started my journey there. My first speech was at the American Ambassador's house in Doha, Qatar, and since then I have practiced aromatherapy on 4 continents, and no matter where I have been, I have people have exhibited such love for this healing art, and so I'm really excited to be sharing more with you today. And it is more than an art; it is really deep science, but I am focusing on the art part today because of time, and so that you can see the practical ways that we can use this in your life, in any area of your life, and you'll hear more about that as we progress. So aromatherapy is the use of aromatic plants which have been used since the dawn of humanity for healing. Every culture does have a history of using plants for healing. And in our hadith, for example, and Sister Tahira was shared with me a hadith that I wanted to share with you. A good scent strengthens the heart, by the Holy Prophet. And as you know that it was Sunnat-e-Rasul to use scents while saying your daily prayers. And why would that be? Why was such emphasis placed on good scents by every single culture, and that since ancient civilization, even like in the pyramids, when they open up the pyramids, there were like huge jars of essential oils that were given, to take to the world after. And why would that be done? Why was, in Christianity, why were the first gifts given to baby Jesus essential oils, fragrances? So let me share with you the many ways that we can use essential oils to really improve the quality of our life in every area. Now, aromatherapy is the use of essential oils. What are essential oils? As you can see, the small bottles, they come in tiny bottles, and they're highly, highly concentrated. For example, it takes 30 roses to make 1 drop of rose oil. And essential oils are primarily extracted through careful steam distillation. And by the way, the first steam distillation was of rose oil by Hussein ibn Sina, an Arab physician. But they are also done through cold pressing, which mostly it's the citrus oils like lemon and orange. The essential oil from the peel of the fruit is extracted through cold pressing. Flower like jasmine, where they are, it's too fragile to go through the steam distillation process, is done through a process called enfleurage, where it's put in oil and then extracted from the oil, like fat. The flowers are put into a fat layer and then extracted. The fragrance is extracted from there. So the purest essential oils are far more powerful and effective than dry herbs, delivering quick and effective results. The one thing I like about essential oils is that we get results instantly. More than any other thing, what I love about them is how quickly you can see the results. Essential oils can be applied, inhaled, diffused, and made into room sprays. I'll be going a bit more into detail about the way of application. My preferred choice of essential oils are the world-class essential oils by Young Living, which you can see in the pictures. Those are bottles by the company Young Living. And there are many companies that you can find in health stores who do essential oils. But if you really understand the importance of therapeutic quality, and for me as a professional, it's really important that I use the best I can find for my clients. And I chose to work with this company, and I've been using them for about 15 years now. The effects of essential oils is multidimensional. So they can inspire a positive emotional state. And again, we'll be talking more about that. Enhance your physical wellness, so using it for health issues. You can purify your home with it. You can refine your skin. It has been used again by royalty, princesses and queens for skincare because it has such a penetrative action on the skin. Every essential oil will immediately penetrate the skin, and that is how we get the regenerating effect, whether it's for skin beauty or for skin healing when you have wounds or burns or any skin problems. And here is why you will understand for the last effect is why cultures all over the world and all religions have used essential oils to create deep spiritual awareness. Because when you're using it for your prayers, it puts you in a state of divine union that helps you be more open to divine guidance and more deeper connection to God. So in daily use, the ways to use essential oils is multiple ways, and massage is very famous, aromatherapy massage, even using from babies to senior, so using it for reflexology, using it for massaging your feet, your whole body, just painful areas, whichever way you choose to use it. Massage is a very worldwide way of using essential oils, or the most famous way of using it. It can also be used in the bath, which is really effective because water therapy is known as very healing, and combining it with essential oils really enhances the effect of both the water and the essential oils. It can be used as compress. So if, for example, a fever, when you have a fever, you can do a compress, and you might have used it, from family traditions. You might have used room temperature compress to bring the temperature down, and you can enhance the effect by using essential oils in the water to make the compress. You can use it for headaches, you can use it for joint pain, you can use it for muscle aches or sprains. You can use it for beauty use, just a compress to enliven your skin. And then for local application, you can use it directly. And again, whenever I'm actually explaining about these oils, I refer to Young Living's quality because there are essential oils out there that can irritate your skin, whereas this one is very pure, very high quality, and so that reaction is very minimized. Not that it doesn't happen, because if you have very sensitive skin, that can happen, but we won't get like an allergic reactive or reaction from the quality. So if you're getting a reaction, skin reaction, it is not because of the quality of the oil, but because something else is going on in your body. And when I'm dealing with the clients, I know what is usually happening so that I can support them further. When it comes to inhalation, again, you want a high quality of essential oil, because every oil that you're inhaling, in fact, anything you're inhaling will immediately go to your brain, because your nose is an extension of your brain. So even the fumes we are inhaling outside, they do affect us. The invisible chemicals that we are inhaling on a daily basis do accumulate in the brain and in the body. So having a pure quality essential oil is really important to have that therapeutic effect that we are looking for. And, when speaking of, toxic buildup in the brain from the chemicals that we are inhaling, essential oils actually help detoxify that layer in the brain. So it really helps with clarity and studying, and I have used it so many times for myself and for my clients, for exams, for just improving your learning abilities and retaining capability. Not only does it help for studying, but inhalation will help congestion. It will help essential oils. Different essential oils have different effects, like calming. So an oil can calm you when you're inhaling it, or it can be uplifting. It can be energizing, and that is just from inhalation alone. Diffusing is a way of using a gadget, and there are many different ones, and I highly recommend the cold diffusing, because the candle burners, they look really pretty, but using essential oils with them you will get the fragrant effect, but you're not getting the therapeutic effect, because the heat will neutralize that. So the gadgets that you can buy, Young Living has really great cold diffusing diffusers, and when you put the oils in there, then there is a cold mechanism to diffuse the oils into a room, and in about 15 minutes you can saturate the air in a room. So you, at the same time, you're inhaling it, and it does have an antibacterial, antiviral effect on the air. So if you're dealing with any infection at home, or you're trying, during flu season, it's an office or a home where you're just trying to protect yourself. Somebody in the family is not well and you want to protect the other family members, diffusing is a really great way to do that. It can also, if you have anybody studying in the house, or children who are like, throwing a temper tantrum, diffusing is a really nice way of having the essential oils in the room environment, and they are inhaling that, so it's calming them down without you really having to do much. Areas to use essential oils. Now just this page alone, I could do like a whole day workshop on it, so I'm just going to go through it for you to see how versatile aromatherapy is, and in how many areas it can be used. So it can be used when you're journaling. It can be used during yoga practice. It makes everything just so much more effective. And I can see a question in the chat. I will be replying to that. Yoga, it can be used in yoga. It can be used during prayers and meditation, like I already mentioned. And as I said, it was Sunnat Rasul to use essential oils during prayers, because it enhances your spiritual awareness and makes you feel more connected to the divine. It can be used in baths for, just relaxation, for aches and pains, for cleansing purpose, detoxifying purpose, for skin regeneration, so for healing. And it takes about 8 drops to a bath, which you add because they evaporate very quickly. And so not to put the oils when you are filling the bath, but once you have filled the bath, then you add about 8 drops of oils. At bedtime, so it's very calming, a drop on your pillow, or a massage for children, for adults before bedtime is very helpful. Even just massaging your hands and feet or just your feet, a very nice bedtime ritual to, transition from a busy day into a calming night. It's great for exercise, so, sore muscles, strained muscles, just even, like say putting it into your shower, gel or soap in the morning, it like just energizes you to, have that get up and go for your exercise. It's great for parties and celebrations. Like we know how during our weddings we use fragrances, like especially in our culture, like we are so big on using fragrances during weddings, and most of the time, if not all of the time nowadays, we use synthetic oils, and so you can imagine how effective your celebration becomes when you are using the real deal, right? When you're using real essential oils, and they are more pricey, but the effect of it on the gathering and on, if it's weddings on the bride and groom and the family is just totally a different experience. So, or if you're having parties like children birthday parties, you could be diffusing essential oils to really keep the room happy, and you can fragrance. You can use it in sacred rituals, like again duas or any ceremony you are doing. You can enhance that, and like we have used rose water and rose oil, and now you can just add it. And I've not mentioned it here, but you can actually add it to your food, and different foods, different oils for different foods. You can add it to water, drinking water, and really augment the effect of that water. So, for example, I have. Somebody is asking me to name a few different oils, so I'm going into that, so you will get that part as well. Because there's too many oils I could be mentioning, but I'll be looking at about 4 oils that I will give you, go into great detail with that. And then if you still have questions at the end, I'm happy to reply to that if you wanted to know more oils than what I have presented. So preparing your food, for example, just using something simple like water. When I was, I don't do it anymore, but I used to teach at the nutrition school here, and when I used to come in the afternoon, the students would be really tired, and they can't even focus anymore, and I would give them a drop in their drinking water, and within like 2 minutes, the whole room has shifted and is totally engaged and enthusiastic again. So it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful way to be using it in food preparation and your drinking water. And again, there are many oils, and we'll get to that of how to, which oil can be doing what. It is great for creating sacred space, and again, sacred space is, when we are creating a place that is for a sacred purpose, like we want to say prayers there, or we want to do a majlis there, or a wedding ritual, anything that we are creating for a sacred purpose, we can use essential oils in that space to clear it. And that we use oud and we use loban, the smoke to clear negative energy from a space. So you can use essential oils the same way, and they are really effective. Like anyone who comes into a room where you have done that ritual of clearing the space will absolutely be elevated and sense it right away. Working with clients, so if you are working with clients that are oils that you can use to put yourself in the mood or vibration that you are looking for, be it calming or uplifting or spiritual, whatever you're looking for, working on projects, depending on what energy you want to bring to that project, you can use essential oils at that time. While setting your intentions, so intentions, see, one of the things, by the way, when you'll, that I didn't mention is that I'm also a coach. So I work at helping people change their lives, and intentions are very, extremely powerful. You know how we say it depends on your niyat, you know, no matter what happens, it's your niyat that counts. So niyat is intention, and intention, while setting intentions, you can use different essential oils to empower yourself and be even, how shall we say, centered in that intention, right? Because intentions do take that deliberate creation energy from you. And when it's a new journey and you're setting an intention, the essential oils really are supportive of creating that energy for you. They are also very helpful with affirmations and mantras. And mantras is like an old Sanskrit word for mind tool. So our minds are very powerful, and intention is where that comes from as well in creating what we want to create. So when you are using mantras, you can use, or, you know, we have like duas, you can combine it with that to support you in making those changes that, you know, feel very hard, but can be eased by combining this mental tool of mantras and affirmations or duas and prayers with essential oils. And you see, the thing is that we can easily, it's just human nature, slip into negative thinking. And affirmations and duas are ways of us keeping ourselves in that positive vibration to help create a positive life and to help create the change that you want to see. They are very helpful for dealing with releasing emotions. So if you have grief, if you have, and this is, you know, human life, have to deal with challenges and obstacles. So we might have rage, we might have anger, we might have resentment, you know, grief if we have gone through death in the family, sickness in the family, major sicknesses, then essential oils really help you to release that so you can move into a positive place again of healing, not only yourself, but helping others around you. And especially for women, because I believe we are like all women on the call. For women, I mean, women are the pillar of society, and women are the pillar of their families. So, and what I see and have seen in my experience is that we tend to put ourselves last, and really we need to put ourselves first because, you know, it is us who is leading the family. And when we are well, then our families are well. And when we are not okay, our family is not okay. And that is of vital importance that as a woman, you give yourself that attention, right? And you deal with emotions that have to be released or dealt with on a regular basis because life happens as we go along. It's a journey. Creating your vision board. So vision boards are really helpful for that intention that you have set and a vision that you have. So it can be in any area: health, financial, relationships, life. And what you do is, cut out pictures from a magazine that depict what you would like to see happen, and you put them in a vision board. So what is happening is that first of all, you're getting very clear, and the universe, like the energy that works of God and the universe, is helping you. And the clearer you are in your message, the more results you can get, because now you have like declared it and said, this is how I would like it to be. This, and of course, we always come with a sense of non-attachment because God knows better than we do. But by declaring, we are already saying that this is what we would like or something better and guide us, right? What would be for the highest good for us and for those that we are here to serve. It's great for public speaking in terms of the speaker using it, but also the speaker using the oils for the gathering and the audience, as like, for example, like the way I mentioned of using it when I go teaching. And for example, any event that I do or lead, I will use the essential oils in the room depending on what I'm speaking on, what vibration or energy I want to create in the room and for the people to experience. So I was in Dubai in January and I used it, and every single person wanted to know more about it because they loved experiencing it. Or I was in Los Angeles and I did an international healing circle and I used the essential oils there as well for the healing process that I wanted the participants to experience. So same thing with teaching and workshops. You're using it the same way, and very helpful again when I used to live in Switzerland, for example. I was called to, it was a school for abused children, and so these are very disturbed children. When they come to school, they exhibit a lot of disturbances. So I was called in to show them how to use essential oils, but then the government didn't allow it to be used for the children, and so the teachers used it for themselves because they were experiencing, a lot of emotional turbulence by working with these disturbed children. So the essential oils were to help them deal with that and support themselves. They also help nurture feminine power. So, for example, I have taught a workshop called Feminine Secrets from the Art of Aromatherapy for Feminine Leaders, because fragrance is a feminine energy, and it does help nurture that essence in you, and that is why brides are like especially in our culture are like shrouded in all kinds of fragrances to make them more magnetic, and so using essential oils on a daily basis for you as a woman, as I said, even you being a mother or a sister or a daughter, like you can, or a wife, you can really make use of that energy for nurturing your feminine essence. So soul collage is something like a vision board, but during soul collage you are more in a prayerful space when you are doing your collage to support you for deeper inquiry. So, for example, a vision board is more like you're clear. I want this, and I cut this out, and I put it on my vision board. With a soul collage, it's more a discovery process. So, again, the essential oils are helping you be in that space of discovery and being able to access like soul wisdom that can come through you. And then show itself in the soul collage. It's a really, really beautiful process. Chakra balancing, again, chakra are like energy centers that we have in us. Chakra is a Sanskrit word and means wheel. So we have like energy wheels that can go clockwise in our body or anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise is usually you are out of harmony. And so given each chakra, that's again a whole day workshop just on that subject, but essential oils can be used for chakra balancing for each 7 different ones that we have within us in many different ways. And then body and health, oh my God, again, a whole day workshop, but they can be used for any health problem you have. There's a specific or many different essential oils that can be used and targeted for whatever is ailing you. And for the body, for body care, skin care, like pregnancy, even pregnancies, to avoid stretch marks. I have helped so many women avoid stretch marks by using essential oil during their pregnancy. It can be used for aches and pains, for beauty care, for scar healing. So many different ways to use it on the body. And then traveling, it's excellent for traveling. Like, for my clients, I recommend, it's a must to take the essential oils with you when they travel. And I have many clients who go, not just regular traveling, like say they're going to Hajj, ziyarat, and they take the oils, and then I love it when they come back and tell me how they could help other people in their group with their essential oils, deal with nausea, stomach issues, stress, whatever it is that you're dealing with, infections. It is so hugely helpful. And one of the things I loved about aromatherapy was that when I started out, is that it took away every fear when it came to health, because I had an essential oil that I could use for anything. And so instead of running to the pharmacy or to the doctor, I could now run to my box of essential oils and find something that would support healing. And that was the most empowering feeling as a mom at home and with little children who, especially my first child used to have a lot of infections. By the time I went into studying health more, I figured out what was the problem. But at that time, we were going to the doctor a lot. And then, to have this was an incredibly empowering feeling. So it is, I say that aromatherapy saved my life in so many ways, because as you can see how effective it is in just every area of your life. And again, I'm seeing questions coming in, and I will get to them. So now we are getting to the part where I am talking about about specific oils, and there are 4 that I have chosen, because even that alone is going to take us, to the end of the session. There's just so much to say about each oil. So frankincense is the first one, is known as olibanum. That is the one that was given to Jesus, as baby Jesus, as his first gift, and it's also the one that is very widely used in the Middle East. And it comes, it's like we know it as loban, and it comes as these little chunks that we can put on coal, and then it creates this smoke. And it's also the one from which that ubani, for those who know, it comes, and it's really good for teeth health. In fact, in Oman, where they chew frankincense, there is no, research shows no dental problems, because this is helping them avoid that. And again, it's used in religious ceremonies, and then I'll go into the each way, many different ways that we can use it. So it can be rubbed on temples or placed a drop on the tongue to relieve stress and sadness. It's a very spiritual oil, so at the same time that it's working on sadness, it's really helping you be spiritually connected. Diffuse to increase spiritual awareness and uplift the spirit, and it's a really beautiful, beautiful fragrance. Diffuse or inhale directly to stimulate the limbic system of the brain, which is memory and emotional center. One thing about frankincense that it doesn't say on this list here is really effective for the respiratory system, so asthma and coughs benefit a lot. It is one of the pricier oils. And by the way, Young Living, for those who have been asking me here in the questions which quality, it's the Young Living one that I use, and I'll give you some context in the community of distributors who you can be in touch with to get the oils. But Young Living, so Oman is the best frankincense in the world is grown in Oman. The second best is Somalia. And the Omani frankincense was only reserved for Oman, and Young Living is the only country, the only company in the world that was allowed by the government to come and plant frankincense trees and export it. So if you want Omani frankincense oil. Young Living has it, and it's called Sacred Frankincense, and it has a slightly different therapeutic value than the Somalian frankincense, and more spiritual effect for the Omani frankincense oil. It can be taken as a dietary supplement for immune stimulation. It can be rubbed on skin, very, very good for skin to decrease signs of wrinkles, lighten edge spots. I know many women in our culture have edge spots, and it is very helpful for that. It decreases inflammation of acne and boils. It can be rubbed around the orbit of the eye for improved vision. And what I haven't put on the slide, but there is an immense amount of research on frankincense and cancer. So it's really helpful for people with cancer. The next oil is lavender, and lavender was the very first oil. Before I even started doing aromatherapy, it was the very first essential oil that I was exposed to, and I loved its relaxing effect. So, and I was about 19 or 20 at that time. So, I mean, even then, I just, would use lavender every evening for its calming effect. Not only does it have a calming effect, it is like a must in your first aid kit because it can do so many things. It can be used on your feet for calming, rub on your pillow to help you sleep, like take a drop and just, rub in your hands and rub it on your pillow. Put 2 or 3 drops on a minor burn to decrease pain. And although it's saying minor burn, really you can do it with major burns. I have used it with really, really like 3rd-degree burns with excellent results. And directly on the wound because right away it starts helping with the healing with excellent results. You can apply several drops with V6 vegetable mixing oil. So here you don't necessarily need the V6 oil that I mentioned. You can use it with a very high quality olive oil or extra virgin organic coconut oil for eczema and dermatitis. Do not recommend cheaper quality of oils. To alleviate the symptoms of motion sickness, place a drop on the end of the tongue, around the navel or behind the ears. So motion sickness is one of the first things that I used to have motion sickness. I don't have it anymore. But in my, especially when at the time when I started doing aromatherapy, at that time I used to have it. And lavender and geranium on a tissue, I would put it in the tissue, make several tissues, put them in a plastic bag, Ziploc bag, and take it with me on the flight. And inhaling it made such a difference in, in just helping me calm down and not experience the motion sickness on a plane. So it is helpful to stop a nosebleed. Put a drop of oil on a tissue and wrap it around a small tip of ice. And now I'm just looking at the time, and I do want to leave time to answer your questions. So I'm going to go fast through this, but you know that you can access it afterwards on the website if you want to kind of read through this in more detail. Rub a drop over the bridge of the nose to unblock tear ducts. You can rub lavender oil on dry or chapped skin, on chapped or sunburned lips. It's very, very good for sunburn. And the way you can use it for sunburns is put a few drops in a spray bottle of water and then spray that on your skin, or use a compress. But very effective. Just like, for regular burns, it just immediately calms down a sunburn. To minimize the formation of scar tissue, excellent for that, massage on and around the affected area. 2 to 4 drops over the armpit area to act as a deodorant. Very, very effective. Diffuse or put a drop between your palms and inhale deeply to help alleviate the symptoms of hay fever and allergies. So here I have found that having some nutritional support really makes a difference for hay fever and allergies, or homeopathy combined with this. because hay fever is just your system really overreacting. Place a few drops on a cotton ball and place in your linen closet, which, in old times they used to make these lavender sachets to scent the linens and repel moths and insects. Place a drop of lavender oil in your water fountain to scent the air or in your humidifier. Kill bacteria and prolong the time between cleanings. You can put a few drops on a wet cloth and throw it into the dryer, and your clothes will smell really nice. Put a drop of lavender on a cold sore. Another oil that's very helpful for cold sore is there's actually two by Young Living. One is called Purification, and the other one is called Thieves, like Thieves. Very helpful. When you get to it right away, it doesn't even develop into a bigger thing, and the healing is accelerated. Spritz several drops of lavender oil mixed with distilled water on a sunburn to decrease pain. Drop lavender oil on a cut to clean the wound and kill bacteria. The third oil is lemon, and lemon is a very refreshing oil, has antiseptic-like properties, contains compounds that have been studied for their effect on the immune system. 6 drops of lemon oil, 6 drops of purification in a spray bottle mixed with water can be used as an air freshener. Purification is the oil that I mentioned also for the cold sore. It's very effective to remove gum, oil, grease spots, or crayon. Excellent. Use a drop of lemon oil to flavor baked goods or beverages. Really delicious. To clean and increase the shelf life of fresh fruit. Fill a bowl with cool water, and then put your fruits in there. Put the oil and leave it for a little while. Very effective. I really love it for blueberries. Any fruit that has like this white coating, you don't want to eat that white coating. So the lemon oil gets rid of that in like an instant. Place a drop of lemon oil on cold sores, herpes, mouth ulcers. It's good for bleeding gums. Very good to stop excess bleeding. You can use it for cellulite because it's very detoxifying and very, for kitchen utensils, to clear the bacteria after you have done, meat cutting, whatever. A drop or two can really help clear the bacteria. You can put it in your carpet cleaning solution. By the way, again, really, really nice. The effect is, in terms of smell, antibacterial effect, clearing out like any little insects you have in there. Peppermint is the 4th oil, and it is one of the oldest and most highly regarded herbs for soothing digestion. And I'm sure everybody must have experienced peppermint in some way for, using it with digestion. Very good for traveling, by the way, for nausea that is experienced while traveling. You can rub 4 to 6 drops in the palm and rub over your stomach and around the navel, but also in water. And by the way, Young Living is the only oil I recommend internally again. So anything I'm saying here pertains to Young Living oils. Massage several drops of oil on an injury to reduce inflammation. Great. To anywhere you see, I once had a really bad burn when, sorry for the, so when my daughter was like, I think about 8 months, and I got a really bad burn on my hand, and every time I would, change her diaper, she would kick with her little feet, as babies do, and reopen the wound, so it got really infected. And it was peppermint that helped, clear the infection of that so that my burn could heal. And it was a really bad burn. Rub several drops of oil on the bottoms of the feet to reduce fever. Excellent for fever. For poison ivy, apply peppermint oil on location. Inhale before a workout. Massage, again, on the abdomen for nausea. For headache, excellent for headaches, over the sinuses and on the back of the neck. And now here I'm thinking I'm going to jump this slide because I do want to leave time for your questions. And we have a lot of peppermint for a lot of different has a lot of different uses. And then the context that I mentioned. So here I'm leaving this slide up. Mubina Jaffer, and you have the phone numbers. Sukaina Jivraj, Jamila Devji, Kulsum Abbas. These are women in the community who are already distributors. So if you know them, you can talk to them and they'll be able to support you with more of an understanding and even getting the oils for yourself and trying them out, which of course I highly recommend because as you see, they are life-changing. I will now go over to your questions, and there is, okay, so where do you buy the cold diffuser? Again, Young Living, any one of these contacts can help you order one. And, should you wish, you can become a distributor, but you can talk to them and they will help you with that. And if, while I'm answering your questions, if you feel I haven't answered them fully or you want more clarification, please just let me know in the chat, okay? And I'm glad to respond to them. Name a few different oils for different activities such as calming and energizing, which I believe I did, but I will give you a few more here. So lavender is calming, Roman chamomile is calming, Valor by Young Living, it's a blend called Valor, is just a really beautiful combination for calming, not just like calming for bed, but calming when you're really emotionally disturbed. For energizing, we are looking at lemon, we are looking at rosemary. Rosemary is very energizing and very good for studying. If you know, like from the Greek mythology, you can, where they have this rosemary crowns on their head, you see this leafy crown that they're wearing. Those are rosemary leaves because they're very good for the brain. Rosemary, in your cooking, so rosemary oil in your, like in your meat is really good for, it's good for digestion, it's good for the brain. So rosemary oil is a good one for that. And then Citrus Fresh by Young Living is an excellent one, combination for uplifting. Peppermint is very energizing. Like instead of coffee, just put a drop of peppermint oil on your tongue and it works incredibly well. So I hope that is has given you some ideas. And if you, again, any other question, please do type it into the chat. Sultana is asking, would the effect of mint, thyme, sage leaves, or lemon slices same as these oils? No, absolutely not, because these are highly concentrated. In fact, they say like a drop of peppermint oil is like 28 cups of peppermint tea. No, like tea is good, it's awesome, so are lemon slices, but when you use essential oils, you will see that they definitely are more effective because each drop is really concentrated, and it is able to, by the time you get the dried herb, you're not having much of the essential activity in it, whereas when you're getting the concentrate, you're getting like the real life force of a plant in your hands. Like it's very alive and energized. And then I think the last question I see here is, what about rose and jasmine? Yeah, what about rose and jasmine? Those are the two oils that are used a lot in our culture. But again, remember, because they are so expensive, what you are using and smelling and experiencing is synthetic. So for you to, and rose, by the way, is known as the plant with the highest vibration. Everything on the planet has a vibration and has an energy to it, and rose is known as the highest vibration thing on the planet. So, for example, giving you an idea, a light bulb would have a 60 kilohertz, and a rose is 320, was calibrated, when it was measured at 320. So, and usually when you are not well, you are actually lower than 60, your energy is lower than a 60-watt bulb. So, essential oils help to bring up that vibration, so help your healing energy. They contribute, they give you their energy. They bring you nature's energy, so you're able to use that to, enhance your own well-being. And so if you wanted me, we still have 5 minutes before we start closing here. So if you don't have more questions, I can reply, more, give you some more details about rose and jasmine. And then if, depending on the time, I can maybe go back to the last peppermint slide and talk about that. So rose, and again, talking about the real essential oil, is like a small bottle, whether you buy it from Young Living or you buy it in the Middle East, can be over $100 to $200, and it's a very feminine oil, and it's also a very healing oil for the heart chakra. Okay, so anytime and especially a woman, because they are such feminine oils, a woman is disconnected. Rose really helps a woman connect to her woman energy. And it also helps heal the heart. And what you can also do is, with the heart, it will affect your respiratory system. Of course, it will have affect the heart itself. Heart disease has usually to do with wounds of the heart, as we call it. And essential, so a drop, in a big jug, say of 2-liter water, a drop of rose oil in the water, you're creating your own rose water, and then drinking that, it's just such a beautiful experience of having that rose energy, taking in that real rose energy. You how it feels when we are around roses, real roses, how it just really increases your sense of well-being and just makes you feel, it just even makes you feel beautiful to look at it, right? So it's the same way, using rose oil on you just helps you also connect with your own feminine beauty, and it helps heal wounds that we experience as we go through life, right? So it's really good for wait, I'm looking at the question, so I just lost my train of thought here. It's very good for the skin. So using skin products, or say even just, putting rose oil in olive oil and using that on your skin is just very nice to keep your skin, in a good condition. Besides doing, given that I have so much wellness experience doing, eating healthy and, doing the thing from inside as well, like an inside-outside approach. But essential oils, when so for the example for rose, no matter how you're using it, you are helping your heart, you're just helping yourself be happier. So, and jasmine is really good, again, for feminine connection. And funny thing, it's called king of flowers, whereas rose is known queen of flowers. So we say that jasmine has that masculine energy to it, and, it doesn't have that softness of rose. And sometimes we all need that, you need that masculine and feminine energy. So jasmine is really good for that part, and it's good for depression, excellent for depression, very good for skin as well, skin use. And, if you are feeling like, you're going to get sick because you've been so stressed out, a luxurious approach is a bath with jasmine oil, and it just really helps to recalibrate you and stop you from, having to lie in bed for a few days because, it got to you, right? So, and then the last, did I answer that question about rose and jasmine? And then the last question I'll take here is, okay, somebody's saying they would like to do the aromatherapy course. You know what? You can write to me at fatmazaidi@gmail.com, and we can talk about that because, that's a whole new subject here, and I have to close. We are coming to the close here. So, but yeah, I totally get that because I was same. When I first found out about aromatherapy, I'm like, I have to do this, right? So, and I am so glad I did because I've been able to help so many people all over the world. What else was there? Somebody asking last question, heart problem. Do you mean also heart attack? I do mean heart attack because heart problems usually do come from, our emotional problems, right? I mean, to address it physically, you would have to have, that physical protocol that I have done for clients. But definitely, you also need to address the emotional part of heart problems. And so I think, let me see what else is coming up. Okay, so, I do think I have 2 minutes where I can go to the peppermint slide. And I've jumped one, but I'll do this one, and then we will finish here. To kill, yes, correct. No, it's not Fatima Zaidi, it's Fatma without the I. And you will see my name on the last slide, so you will get that again. So it kills aphids, for on plants. You can spray it on. Mix it in a glass of cold water to cool off on a hot day because like fever, it brings down the temperature. Like an inflammation, it brings down the temperature. Like in a burn, it brings down the temperature. So peppermint oil is really good for anywhere where you want the cooling effect. You can place it on arthritis, again tendonitis, because it's anti-inflammatory. You can place a drop of peppermint oil on the tongue to stop bad breath. Very famous peppermint, mint candy. Inhale the fragrance to curb appetite and lessen the impulse to overeat. So it's very helpful for weight loss because it supports you in not overeating if you drink some peppermint in water, peppermint oil. And you got the contacts here. And then, of course, thank you for being here today with me and choosing to empower yourself, which is really a big thing for me because that is what my work is about, to empower and inspire people, that we have so many tools in life. I mean, God has given us so much to help ourselves with, and it's a vast kingdom for you to experiment, experience, use, help, heal, and, change the world with what you do. And so my work right now, as you can see, I'm a feminine leadership coach, is helping actually women to start up businesses or create or grow the existing ones that they have, because I like women, to see women be able to afford essential oils, right? And if they don't have money, they can't afford it, or if they're struggling. So, being able to help themselves and in that way help their families, their communities, and the world at large. And thank you very much. You know where you can get in touch with me. You know where you can get in touch with the contacts you have seen. And I'm wishing you all the very best. Thank you, and bye-bye. I think one last question here. Do you get them in half bottles? You get them in 5 milliliter, and you get them in 15 milliliter, depending on the oil. But Young Living has kits for you to try out, and I'm not sure if this thing will cut me off at 12, but 2 minutes left. So if it cuts me off, then I have said my goodbye to you. But Young Living does have the kits that you can get, and one of them is called, they have several, but the one that I do actually recommend, because it has so many different ones that come in handy for so many different things, and it's called the Everyday Oils Kit. So if you want to get that, from Young Living, then again, get them from, you can get in touch with the contacts, or you have my email, and highly recommend that you have that at home because it will change your life. Okay, so thank you and goodbye, and all the best to you. Bye-bye. Khuda Hafiz.